Hi guys, my name is Shubham Kumar and you're watching Hoodie Coder. So last time we have completed the lecture 2 of chapter 4, okay, request line. So we already I think we already have done this part, request line. Okay, so now we are going to move to the next lecture. So this chapter mostly contains six lecture. I think we are going to move to the next one, which is called parsing a stream. So unfortunately, passing code tend to just one edge case after another. Remember how I said TCP guarantee data to be in order? That is true, but I never said that it had to be completed. It had to be completed. TCP and by extension HTTP is streaming protocol, which means we receive data in a chunks and should be able to parse it as it come in. Okay, so we are going to receive data in a in a chunk method. So okay, so I think it is saying that we have to paste this code in a request.test. I'm going to copy this one, go back here. Let me see if my and I think I'm going to paste this here. Okay, and let's import all of those, and let's go. I think I need to delete this part as well. Okay, I think I will go into here, and we have to, so I think done with this one, and let's done with this one as well. Copy this thing and go back, and I'm going to replace it. Okay, di curly and paste it. Okay, so I think everything is working fine. So we have this here. So हमारा टेस्ट केस तो हो गया है आई थिंक और कुछ तो चाहिए नहीं इसके अंदर let's check this again. We are done with the test case. Be sure the test value as low as 1 and as high as length of the request string. So okay, our code should be under work under all condition, of course. So let's complete the point number 3. Update your parse request line to return the number of byte it consume. Okay, so if it cannot find a RL, it should return 0 and no error. Okay, that just means that need more data before it can parse. Okay, so let's go back. If let's see the condition again. If I'm not able to find anything, then I should not be able to send error. Okay, there one problem I see here. Okay, the parse request line. Parse request line should not to return the number of byte it consume if it cannot find RN. Request parse line. Parse request line. If I go here, and should return 0. I think the output format is getting changed. So I'm going to implement a new function. No. Let's go back to the previous chapter. I think one step we have lost somewhere. Okay, not here. Request guarantee and make update your parse request line to return a number of byte it consume. Okay, so we have to update the parse request line it consume. It cannot find a if it cannot find a register's nurse, it should return 0 and error and no error. This just means that it need more data to before it can. Okay, and new internal enum. It is just used as an int to your request structure to track the state of the parser. For now, you just need to state initialize and done. Okay. implement a function request parser method. It accepts the slice. So let's complete this one. First of all, I need to convert this. I'm returning the error as well. I think I need to send int as well, and I'm going to request line 0 0, and I should not return the error. I think this is what he is saying. Or if you can't find it, should return 0 and no error. This just means that need more data before it can pass the request line. Okay, I think I'm going to delete this one. And I'm going to do this. Okay, and we need to return here as well. I should return when we receive error as well as 0, and here as well 0 0. Okay, and I think 0 is fine here. And let's go back here, and how much I have read until now. Request line index should work. I don't know if I should consider adding registerness into the reading part as well. I think I should consider it. I'm going to put like total read length, read read length, and request line. I think request line, and this is correct. I think length CRL. Okay, I'm going to return the read length. Read. What was that? I think I'm going to put here. Okay, done with this, and we need to return error, and I think I'm going to put read length, read len. Okay, read length. I'm not using the read length, so let's see what we need to do with the read length. First of all, go back to the browser. Okay, add new internal enum. It is just int. It just use as int in your request structure to track the state of parser. For now, you just need to state. Okay, so I have to create an enum value. Enum value. I think I will go back. What happening? There's something wrong here. Close this. Exit. I think my control U and control D is not working properly. I don't know what is happening. Remap, and let's see if I have control somewhere. Control U. I think no, I don't have. Disable uppercase shift. I think I should delete this thing because this one is, I think, is 8. Tab stop, soft tab stop is 8, and shift. I'll just delete this and close this one, and let's start again the new game. And I'm going to go here. Okay, now it's working fine. Yes. Let's say this, and let's put something here. State. I'm going to put, what should I do this? How to create an enum value. think state. Let's copy the constant part first of all and put it here. Sorry, and we constant part, okay, and put here, and let's put here something which can be recognizable. So I am going to put a let me see how should I create an enemy in Go language. तो मैंने पहले बताया था मुझे पूरे अच्छी तरह Go आता नहीं है ना. So go enum type. Can I do? How should I do? How should I do? So the states int. Okay, of course. Constant. Okay, I got it. So I can do one thing. I can do. I can do. I think I can do. Type parsing state. See parse state state, and I'm going to put it in teacher here. Okay, and I'm going to put initialize I initialize state, I think. Yes, and done state. And done state. And let's delete this part. Initialize. I think initialize what is this? I think there is initialized LIZED. Okay, initialized ITIALIZ INITIALIZED initialized. Is the spelling? How should I pronounce this? Initialize. INI ZED. Of course, LIZED. Yeah. Yes, I think this is how it should be done. Okay, let's copy this one, go back, and we push this one. Okay, and I'm going to delete this one as well. I'm going to write done basically. Do and done. I should not put. I should put here the value actually. Let me put here 0 and put here 1. Should I? I don't know. I don't like that way of doing this, but I think I should parse state line. Think how it should be done. Yeah, a parse state line. Yes. Initialize cannot be initialized as perspective. Okay, of course it is can't be. I'm going to put a string here. Okay. Done here, and we are going to put parse state here. So we are done with the first one. So implement the new function parse. Okay, so this function is going to do everything like parsing. Initialize the parsing in a first for request line, then in a header, then in a body. Okay, so this function is going to be our entry point, I believe. So implement a new function which is r star request parse data. Okay, method. It's accept the new next slice of a byte that need to be parsed into the request structure. Update them. It's update the state of the parser and parse request line. It return the number of bytes it consume. Okay. So how should I do this? Update the request from reader function. Instead of reading all the byte and then passing the request, it should use the loop to continuously read from the reader and pass the new chunk using parse method. The loop should contain until the parse is done. Okay, you will need to keep track of buffer to read data into. I start with the size 8 and grow it as needed. It also shift the data in and out of it, so I don't need to keep storing the already passed data. Okay, so how many bytes you have read from the buffer and need to be the result. I think if I remember correctly, I should implement this one first. I think this one is going to be crazy. Okay, so let's update your read from request. So let's I'm going to update this one. Okay, instead of reading all the byte and then passing the request line, it should use loop to continuously read from the reader and pass the new chunk into using the parser method. Okay, loop should continue until the parse is to be done. Okay, so let's go back and we have an error. What? Did not use, of course. I'm going to remove this one. Let's push this. Okay, so I need to remove the read part. Okay, I think I'm going to read from reader. No, I need to first of all create the buffer. Let me delete this part. Actually, delete. Okay, let's go back. Okay, first of all, I need to create a buffer in which I'm going to read all the things, and I'm also going to store the starting point from where I'm going to read. Okay, so I think read length. I think I'm going to go the read length in th length. I'm going to put 0 here, and I'm going to create a buffer. Okay, so bu double f e a buffer make of byte make, and let's work with a byte right now. Okay, bytes, array of bytes, and 8 byte we are going to work. And let's create an infinite loop first of all, and let's copy this. I'm going to read buff length. I'm going to put length, buff length, and I'm going to put read. I read into the buffer. Read, reader, and read. I think read it is, and buffer. Okay, so declare and not use buff length, of course. Let's copy this one, and I think I'm going to delete this. Sorry about this. And I'm going to delete this one and paste here, and I'm going to read from buffer, and from where I'm going to push this. I'm going to read from buffer read length, I think so. Yes. Okay, and so we have a buffer length, how much we have read right now, and I think let me do one thing as well. I'm going to put the new function here. Of course, one loop should continue until the pass in the done. Okay, okay, pass is done. You will need to keep track of the buffer to read into the byte. Okay, I start with this as I read in row it needed. I also shift the data in and out of it, so I don't need to keep storing already passed data. Okay, how many byte you have read from the reader, how many byte you have passed into the buffer. So how many byte I have read. Okay, so I'm going to read length into buff length. Okay, and I'm also going to use that previous function. I'm going to use this function. See function क्या है? Basically हम लोग ये this is going to be our main function which is going to be changing the state whether we are in an initial stage, whether we are in a parsing in a done state. Okay, this is going to be storing that information, changing that information basically. So I'm going to मैं इसे copy करता हूँ, and let's go back and push this here. And right now I'm just going to return 0. Let's first complete this function actually. Read length, and what are we going to do this here? So we are going to use parser to parse it. First of all, I'm going to delete this and I'm going to write parse here, and let's delete this one and I'm going to read length. Parse declare and not use parse length. Okay, of course. So what should I request it from here? So our parser is going to return only int and error. Okay, so if any kind of an error happen, or otherwise it return the length how much it has parsed already. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete this one, diw. I think I'm going to write parse length I think, and I'm going to create a error as well. I'm going to store error as well. Let's okay. So how much we have read right now? Request line. So one thing I should also do, I need to create a new request. Let me see if I have a new function which create a new request. No, I don't have it. Okay, so I don't have a. So how should I do this? I've already read pass length. I've already read the length of that one. So what should I do? Buffer length already added, and read length plus pass length. No, how much I have read? So I don't think I should do this here. I think I'm going to read whatever in the buffer. Okay, buffer length, and buffer length, whatever in the buffer, basically. So whatever in the buffer length, okay. And how much we have read? Read is going to be read length, and this is going to be case. Okay, how much we have read? Already read it. And for example, in a buffer we have read this part, and this part is left. So I need to pick this part and put into the buffer as well again. So I'm going to copy the buffer first of all. buffer buffer, and I think copy. Yes, this one I think well. Copy into buffer. I think I should have done with this one. Copy into buffer. Actually, from where? In a whole buffer, and So I'm starting with the, let me start again. I'm starting with the read length 0. Okay. So for example, if we are working with a 3 byte, 3 byte chunk at a time. So let's say if I have a 3 byte chunk into buffer, which is not complete. Now I have 9 byte buffer. For example, after 3 loops, I have 9 byte of chunks, 9 number of chunks. Okay, 9 type of chunks, which is, sorry, no, 3 times of chunk. So it is almost like 9 bytes. And I have used 9 bytes, which is actually stored in the buffer length. Which is all which is going to be stored in the buffer length, and okay, 9 bytes. I have consumed the 7 bytes. I have consumed 7 bytes. I'm getting confused here. So अगर मैंने 9 बाइट्स में से 7 बाइट कंज्यूम कर लिए, ठीक है, कंज्यूम कर लिया, consume it, which is going to give us parse length, okay, 7 byte, and how much byte we left, which we are left with a with a 2 bytes. We are left with a 2 bytes. Okay, so parse length में I think what should I do? So I should remember what the integer is going to be written by the parse. Parse is going to return, what is it going to return? Implement a function. It accepts the next slice of byte that need to be passed into the parse request structure. It updates the state of the parse request and the parse request line field. It returns the number of bytes it consumed, meaning successfully passed, and an error if it's encounter one. Okay, it's going to return the number of requests it has consumed already. It's returned the number of bytes it consumed, meaning successfully passed, and an error if it encounter one. Successfully passed. So it is going to pass. Hmm. So it has passed like a request length. Okay, so it's going to request send us the how much it has passed already. Read length. Okay. This looks correct to me, but I don't understand what should I do with the read length actually. Somehow I think read length. I think I should change the name of this one. I should change the left length, I think. No, read left part of the read. No, I think something like how much to read. Read left. Yeah, the read left. Okay, so read starting point. Read start. Start something like that. Okay, so I think read start, I believe. Okay, and now I'm going to restart. Start if buff length minus parse length, I think so, something like that. So if I'm going to copy from the IO, so now I am going to start from the read start. Okay, okay, something like that. Read start, and I think this is correct actually. I think this is correct. Cannot read the value of byte. What is this? Of length, which we have read length. I think I should do something like I'm going to, I think, the read start plus buff length. I think this should be the case. So we should be able to read until start plus buff length. Okay, of course. So for example, if we are not going to read, so for example, if we are in a request initialized state, then we are going to start from the zero restart. Okay, so 0 0, and I'm putting 9 bytes into the buffer right now, and so the read start is going to be, okay, so pass, this part is going to be restart plus buff length. Okay, so this is quite, we are, this part is going to be read start plus length. Okay, plus buffer length, how much we have read. And if it does not contain registers nulls, then it's going to return 0. Okay, I'm very much confused in this part. So okay, let's change this one. First of all, let me see the error actually. What? Why will I import this one? Text to template pass, I think. A stupid idea. And what is this error? Cannot convert the buffer read start value byte to the IO.reader byte. Do not implement the IO.reader missing read method read. What? Reader, I think I'm going to report read. Is it how reader? And what is the buffer? It start. Everything looks correct to me. Cannot convert buffer slash reader. Of course, there's a mistake here. So I need to reader dot read. Yes. About this read. Okay. Now this looks correct. And let's go and define the parse function. And the parse function is going to be working with. So I need to create another request. Request I have to store. Okay. So var request request request, and I'm going to create a pointer. Do I need to create a pointer? Okay, request, and I'm going to call this function request.parser. This works fine. Okay, and I'm going to remove this one. Should I return the request? Yes. Return request. And if I get the error somehow, I have no idea what is happening here. Okay, so one thing I also do, I need to check if it is done or not. Run the loop until it is not done. Okay, until it is not done. If request dot status is not done status. Okay, I think this should be correct. And I also should add array state as well. What do you think about it? If I go into the array state, I should be able to check it. Let's create an array state next time. Okay, now I'm going to do the parsing here, the basic parsing. So how should I pursue here? So I need to store how much I've read. To do that, I need to create a variable, the read, and I'm going to create read var or just 0. Let me delete this one, and I'm going to create another for loop. For loop if initialize. Okay, for loop I'm going to create this, and I'm going to create a switch case as well. WITCH state r dot state, yes, of course, case initialize. If the case is initialized, I'm going to do two things. I think now I have a request object. I think I should not be I think I'm going to work with this. Okay, so I'm if if initialize okay, so I'm going to request line and I'm going to do it. Yes, and this is looks correct to me as well. If error is not equal to nil, just return 0 and error okay. So otherwise if read length equal to 0, I'm not going to return anything. I'm going to create okay, first this is what I'm going to do, because in the last time it's told us that you should not give error if you are not able to find the registers nulls. You should not release the error if you are not able to find the registers nulls. Okay, so now this is simple. Now just need to install the request line. Okay, and our dot state is equal to, let's move to the done state, and read length equal to read plus equal to read length. Okay, and we are should be done here. I should not be able to return anything, and default, if I return, I'm going to some kind of an error. Going to store unknown known known state. Yes. Okay, default. I should put this. Okay, but and let's return the last thing, read, and also nil. Nil. Okay, and there should be another way. Why I'm not able to paste anything? Declare found written. The expected declaration found written. Expected declaration found written. Let me put the case again. Case done state. Done. And read. What should I return here? Read and nil. Should remove this one. And everything looks fine. Okay. Let me go back. Okay, sorry about this one. I'm going to go back. What? Oops. Sorry. My mistake, not done. DON done. Okay. Done. And so we are okay with this. Thanks for. I think this should looks correct to me. So if we are in an initialized state, there's one thing I need to do. Written. And seeing this is how I can do this. Yes. Expected. I think I need to create and here. And display type found. Okay, come on. I think I should delete this one, and I'm going to request. So request equal to, going to end request state initialize. Okay, this should be fine. I think I'm going to get a lot of error right now, and so in a buffer, I'm going to add the read state, and Let me try. If it is running, then I'm pretty much a lot happier. But I don't think this is going to be running. So I'm going to do into this cd request and go run and request go run go test fail, of course. So what is the protocol error I'm receiving? Request line get 9. So I'm going to let me print again. Print lf byte buff length, no, print print f read buffer buffer string. So this is how I'm going to read this. Okay, let me check again if the function is working. So reader for get I'm receiving reader for. So I'm receiving get at the first and then slash then hit. But so okay, this is the issue. I think I need to do read start equal to buffer length and the I think read start is what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep reading it until let's first of all go with the 1024. This value should be 1024. Okay, and read buffer. Keep going to add the data into it and a parse length. If you had already read this part, I'm going to go with this and read length. I think this should work. Now my confusion is I'm going to do it restart. I think this one. Okay, I think this should work. Yes, yes. Let me give me some kind of error here so that we can see what is wrong. Okay, what is happening. Let me go into my s sorry about this, and let me change something so that we can see the error. Let me change this one. Okay, and go back, Control S. Okay, so you can see the request line is getting request slash coffee. So I think I should print this again. fmt.print print of read start buffer. Okay, sorry, parse text. Okay, and let's check this. Go back and learn this again. So you can see our buffer is getting filled here now. Yes, so it is getting filled. So this way, let's go correct our test case first of all. Let's go change the test case. And okay, now go back and go s. Let me clear this out first of all, terminal. And I'm going to run this again. Okay, so my test is actually getting cleared out. I think we are done with it. Let's see what we have done. So we have already run the request from reader parser, which is going to read and put the text into the buffer basically, and we are changing the state as well. We already have written the his test machine to change the state. Okay, done read. This is how much I've read. So please think about it. If I'm going to add another state here, I'm just going to put add initialize to header state, and I'm going to read that. So I think we are done with this one. We are done with this function as well. We have our set for the request line, updated the state. It's returned the number of bytes consumed and meaningful is fully to pass. Okay, and we have updated the request from reader as well, and this one as well done state. You will need to keep track of the byte buffer read, of course, how many you have read from the reader, a buffer to read data into byte, how many byte you have read from the reader, how many byte you have passed from the buffer. That with doesn't, then the end result is the same as right from the chunk. Done with this, I think. Let's move. Request line preview. Congratulations, parsing data as it come into the program is much harder than passing the entire message as once. The things you do efficiently. I want to just point out few things I did in my code and why I didn't. So he has constant CRLF slash registers of a size is equal to 8. He has also created the request, and so this is also done. Okay, cool. We have done the similar thing, I think. Almost like similar. One buffer size that is tensely tiny. If you look at test case, first and he is reading from the buffer as well, read index and if error, blah blah blah. So I haven't written this case, and he's adding the number of bytes he has read into the read index, updating it, and request.parser is going to read. Of course, we have done the similar thing actually. Yes. This can be confusing, but it is important to understand the difference. When we read, all we are doing is moving the data from the reader in this case HTTP into the network connection, but it could be as file as well. Our code is agnostic into our program. When we parse, we are taking the data and interpreting it, moving it from the byte to request line structure. Once it's parsed, we can discard it from the buffer and to save the memory. Of course, you can discard it from the memory as well. So this is what we are doing actually. We are actually discarding the buffers when we are done with this. For example, we have if we get for example we get parse line length equal to 10. If we get that, then we are just replacing the the bytes after the parse length into putting the whole that data into the buffer and removing all the old previous data. Okay, and also updating the read start. Yes. Yes, that's what we are doing. But the problem is, I think there is one problem here. For example, if we are going to put another state which is going to take which is going to read from 0 to, for example, 100, uh, 1000, 1030 byte, if it's going to read, then that's going to overflow the memory, which is going to be problematic, I think. No, 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 this is fine actually. It's never going to overflow the memory, I think. Yes. For example, if we pass the header length, if we pass the request length, we are going to in a for loop, done with the pass, and it's going to next again the loop is going to run, and we are going into the header, and the buffer is going to contain header now. Actually, the code is fine. It's going to save us some the memory. Let's go back, and we are done with this. I think that our logic is almost similar to this one. Okay, state machine counter. Okay, so we already know what is the state machine is. A state machine is just a fancy word for the system that can be in one of our many different state. Many different state. For example, the function is not a state machine because it does not have any internal state. Doesn't take this function is not a state machine because any value in that function is not getting changed. But this function is actually a state machine because the count is getting changed every time the function is getting called. Yes. So because it's internal state the count field, and each time we call add, it changes the state of the counter structure. It is not pure function, it is stateful function. Stateful function, okay. It is not a pure function, it is a stateful function. Okay, so the first one is a pure function, next one is a stateful function. We build a state machine. The combination of request from request person create our state machine. We keep track of several pieces of state, how much data we have read from the unit of cost, how much data we have passed from the buffer, the current state. Okay, so this one is working. I think we should be done with this one as well. I think this part is going to be easy, and we are at the last lecture. Connecting the parser. We have got So connecting the parser, we got the other testing pass. Now it's time to actually use our parser in our TCP listener. By the end of the lesson, you will have a TCP listener that can pass the request line to the curl of course. Read your get a line kind channel function you are working with HTTP now, not just a new line similar to read that resulting logic that print the text coming back across the channel. Okay. Instead, call request from the reader, assume it successful printing out the request line. Read the getLine function. Wait, what was? Read the getLine function, okay? Line function. Yeah, getLine function. Channel. Getline channel, okay. Well, there we are, and the getLine channel. So what should I do here? Let me check the code again. So we are listening from the TCP listener, and we are connecting the accept, and right now we are calling this function, okay? And this is going to contain the logic. Channel, we are creating the channel, and reading from the reading from the buffer, reading from the file, reading from the TCP listener. Now, yes, I think I should. What should I do? So delete your getLine function where we are working with HTTP now, not just a similar line, new line similarity. Delete the result logic that print the text coming back across its channel. Instead, call the request line, assume it successfully print out the request line in this format with the dynamic data, of course, is this one. Okay, so whatever we are receiving the data now, so we are just going to call this function. I'm going to remove this one. We D, I think. I'm going to remove this one, and I'm going to remove this one as well. So what I are going to do here, we are going to write a new read function. Instead call the request from the reader, assume it successfully print out the request line. So we can go think request line request. It's going to give us the request as well as error. Okay. So I'm going to import first of all, if I can. So what is the name of the function? Let me add this one here, and I'm going to working with. Let's move this to up a little bit. Okay. I think I'm here, and we are going to call this function. And let's go back and read, I think, and I'm going to send the connection as well here. Let me check if it can import. Recognize the import. I think I can import this if it is possible. Let me see. Create function, no. Browse package main TCP display. What is this? So let me see if I can import this as well, at least. At least I think. How should I import this function? Let me check the character. First of all, I need to go back, write the function here. So we are in CMD, TCP listener and main. I need to import first this one. Could not import the package. I should be able to do this. Internal request. First. Okay, compiler could not import the internal no required module package provided. Let me go. Let me close this first of all. Go mod byte id. But relative import paths are not supported in the model. Okay. Ports. How should I import this? I have no idea. Think request. Can you do this way? Okay, there is a way to do this. Let me check the com mod. My mod is saying you can import like this one. Request. What is the name of this function? Request from reader. Request to request. Of course, request from reader. Okay, sorry. So reader. Okay, request declare not use. Now I just okay, so I should also also put the error as well. What should I do here? Panic, I think. And now what I need to do, I need to just print this out. Instead call okay, assume it's successful, print out the request line in this format. Okay, so this is the format I need to follow. Let's see what. So first of all, I need to print the fmt.print ln. And I'm going to do request est request line. Okay, and next I want to do method. So what should I do here? I'm going to copy this one, delete, and I'm going to paste here, and let's do like this. Control V, I think it is. I'm going to put here, capital here, and I'm going to write fmt, sorry, fmt dot print fn, and I'm going to okay, there is a mistake. Let me push it forward and delete this one. I'm going to delete, push here, and let's go here. I'm going to print s. What should I do? Request.method? Yes, of course. And this one is also going to contain like request.target, and this one is going to contain slash request.value. Come on. Okay, missing. Not here. FMT and define FMT. GRA. Sometime my GRA doesn't work. I think. Yes, so I think FN is not. I can't print F. Okay, done with this. Let's try to run this function. cd back, and go run main TCP. Where am I? Okay, so go run. Let me copy this one. Okay, come on, and let's check, copy this thing and print here, and print here. Let me put dot here as well. I think this should work. Let me check if I get anything. Request.line txt. Okay, so we haven't received anything. So let's go back, close, and I'm going to remove this one. I'm just going to run this one. Okay, okay. I need to create another terminal to send the request. Okay, so I'm going to create another terminal, new window, and let's cancel this one part, and I'm going to do this again and put this again, and let me check what should I do. How should I send the record request? We are done with this one. Let me copy this and copy here and push here and send the request. Let me check what we received. Okay, sorry. I think I should change something here. I think create a space. Okay, and okay, now it should looks fine. Go run. Okay, first of all, let me delete everything. Request line. Okay, go back, and run this again, and this go here and curl it out. Okay, now everything is working fine actually. Let me cancel this out and go back and sf request line. Okay, so we got the output actually. So this one is coming from somewhere else. I think it might be coming from, let me check where it is coming from and where it is coming from. So we are getting called DRA. Let me go back. I don't know from where it is coming from. Request line. Request line, I think F. Request line. From where it is coming from. Print request length is fine. And I don't know where it is coming from. I have no idea where it is coming from. So I think this function is getting called. If I go back, let me go up a little bit. Okay, sorry, here it is coming from. Let me run it again. Request, let me delete everything. And done with this, let me go back, put this again, run this again, and curl it out. I think now I should see the output correctly. Yes, I think we are done with this. Close this one and sf request line. Okay, so our output is correct now. So we are done with this one. Kill both the program. Done with this. So we are done with the request line. So in the next part, we are going to pass the HTTP header. I think which is going to be much easier than the request line parsing.